Well, the virus has now killed more than 100 people in China, and new cases have been confirmed around the world.
So you don't want to frighten the American public.
France and South Korea have also got evacuation plans.
But you need to prepare for and assume
strongly warning Americans to avoid all non-essential travel to China.
That this is going to be a real serious problem.
France, Australia, Canada, the US, Singapore, Cambodia, Vietnam, the list goes on.
Health officials are investigating more than 100 possible cases in the US.
Germany, a man has contracted the virus.
The epidemic is a demon, and we cannot let this demon hide.
Japan, where a bus driver contracted the virus.
Coronavirus has killed more than 100 people there and infected more than 4,500.
We have to prepare for the worst, always, because if you don't and the worst happens.
War Room Pandemic. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Welcome. It's the 26th of October, year of our Lord 2020. I think we got 7 in a wake-up. We're here in the nation's capital. We've been reporting this story now since we started War Room Pandemic back in January. The War Room impeachment started back in October. We're now in our second year. 17 million people on the download of the podcast. Also, tens of millions throughout the world because of G News and G Media that does a current translation of this in Mandarin. We have a huge audience in mainland, also diaspora, the Chinese people throughout the world, of people working for the freedom. John Frederick's Radio Network on radio. We're Real America's Voice, Dish Channel 219, Comcast Channel 113. Also, we are on Newsmax TV now in 70 million homes. Want to bring back, we're going to try to get Rudy Giuliani. We've got a whole bunch of things. I was trying to get some guys from Northeast Pennsylvania. I want to really go through that, but I think we're going to probably do that tomorrow. Things are calmed down. So much breaking news today. More breaking news out of this story about this whole fiasco with the child endangerment, which, like I said, is not a topic we cover here. We're really on the economic side, the pandemic side, the geopolitics side, and the politics side. But when something like this pops up and you don't see the authorities do anything, remember, I was the first guy to call for Christopher Wray to be fired. I'm giving you a scoop today. It doesn't matter whether Trump wins or loses, right? Trump's going to win, and he's going to be fired. But in the case that it didn't happen, he's going to be fired anyway. So Chris Wray is not going to be the head of the FBI, and Chris Wray can write that down. Okay, he's gone for good reason. Been a total disaster. And trying to pivot it back to the Chinese Communist Party and everything, too little, too late. Too little, too late. All these guys, Brennan, Clapper, all these guys this whole Biden thing is going to explode all over them. Where were you when this guy was being compromised? You know, Brennan, where were you? You looking in Russia? Hey, Russia's a sideshow, dude. Okay, before we got Liz Ure, we're going to bring her back in a second, but now we've got the man, Mayor Rudy Giuliani, and we only got him for a few minutes. Mayor, look, Mayor, thank you. Welcome. I know you're pressed for time. You're doing media nonstop. We had Bernie Carrick on. We're going to follow with Liz Ure. And Liz is she's a specialist, been doing this child endangerment for 30 or 40 years. She was Oprah's right-hand person in Chicago. She's a prosecutor in Chicago. She's saying that it's got to be expanded. If the FBI is not going to do anything about it and Delaware is not going to do anything about it, you got to go to ICE or other things to actually make it happen. Or people in this audience got to start calling Delaware and going, hey, what's the story with the little girl? We noticed that he does 3 events. Biden does 3 events. He does 3 drive-ins, and that's it. Now he's gone for 9 days. He's gone into hiding because he's not tough. He can't handle these questions. He's breaking under pressure. Okay, 2 other events, so 5. So 40% of the events, he went in a milkshake with one daughter, Hunter's daughter. Go get milkshake Sunday a week ago. Okay, and then go to Mass with both granddaughters yesterday. Rudy, where do we stand? Why? I understand you and Bernie immediately upon finding this information talked to outside people that were specialists in special victim unit prosecutors. Everybody concurred. You had to go to Delaware. You go down there. You spend an entire day. You walk through the information. They dump it to the AG. It's supposed to be the FBI. But what does that mean? Where does this stand? What's the status? Has there been an intervention? Has there been an interview? People want to know. We're getting blown up day in and day out. What's the status of the victim? And can you tell us what the apparatus is doing, particularly the FBI that we spend, I don't know, tens or hundreds of billions of dollars a year, financing? What's the current status on this?
Well, are we talking about the kids?
Yes.
Well, I mean, there's just a statement here that demands investigation. Hunter Biden admits to his father 3 years ago, I create and caused a very unsafe environment for the kids. Then all you do is look at the photographs, of which there are 29,000, And you can see, indeed, he does create an unsafe environment for the kids. He smokes crack all around the house. He walks around nude. He has orgies, 2 men, 2 women. He is constantly laying on couches and admiring himself. So, yeah, and they can't possibly avoid the crack smoking. It's ubiquitous. I mean, I can't describe it any other way. So
there's a photo up right now of him.
When I showed this, plus the photographs to the New York City police detectives, they said this is their no-brainer. You got to report it, and they got to jump right on top of it. Well, they punted to the FBI instead, who had done nothing about it for 8 months.
Is this just you and Bernie Kerik trying to intrude in a failed presidential race of President Trump, that he has no plan, he has no this is what they're saying, he has no coronavirus plan, Mark Meadows raised the white flag, he's got no health care plan, they hand Leslie Stahl a book of executive orders, but it's no plan, so he doesn't know anything about the second term, the left is hammering him every day, the mainstream media hammering him every day, so he gets his two of his lowest life hammers, that would be Bernie Kerik and Rudy Giuliani, with an assist from Beelzebub, Steve Bannon, right? And what they're pushing is Jake Tapper says it's heinous. What Rudy Giuliani's pushing can't even be talked about. It's so heinous. Is this just you trying to prove your relevance and intruding into a presidential campaign, or does this rise to the level of something that's serious?
This is probably the worst criminal activity I've ever seen in terms of effect on government. And I've prosecuted 100 public corruption cases, including congressmen, commissioners in New York City, 70 police officers. I mean, I've done a lot of corruption cases, and I've done them as RICO cases. This is the strongest case I've ever seen. It's also the most shocking. This is the highest level of government where I've seen this kind of corruption. The vice president of the United States for 8 years was thoroughly corrupt. He was available to the highest bidder. The documents prove it. His son says for 30 years he's been doing this, and he's got to pay for all the expenses, and he's got to kick back half to the old man. I mean, what do we need beyond that, Steve? I mean, I've proved a lot of cases on 1/10 of that. This is a concerted effort to elect a crooked Democrat to be the head of this country, because a lot of the people in league with him are crooked. Big tech, completely crooked. A lot of the big businesses doing tremendous amount of business in China. They don't care about the United States. They don't care about our people. All they care about is the enormous amounts of money they're making in China. And this is also, we would be electing a national security problem into the White House. Not just Hunter, Joe. The last business I can tell Joe was in, he was in a business where he was going to get $30,000 a year, $30 million a year, and he was in business with 3 Chinese communists, one of whom has already been executed, and the other one is in federal prison. The first person he asked for when he got arrested was his co-conspirator, James Biden. I mean, it is figuratively and literally true that the Bidens are in bed with the CCP.
Okay, why then the argument gets to be why are the people that have controlled this hard drive putting out all this salacious pictures about, Hunter's a broken individual. He's a broken individual. People continue to put out all his crack smoking. They put out all these salacious pictures of his sexual depravity, all that. Why is that necessary? Why is that necessary for you to allow that to be put out? Why? How does that tie into the story of corruption? How does that tie into the story of compromise? How does that tie into a national security issue?
But that is probably the most often used area for compromise and for squeezing somebody in the intelligence world, sexual depravity. I mean, the mafia used to control all the gay bars on the west side of Manhattan. Why do you think they did that? Because every once in a while a judge would walk in, a prosecutor, a newspaper person. They get some pictures of him, and those were in the days in which it would be horrible if you were gay. And then if they had an important case before the judge, they show up with the picture and say, Judge, you want the wife to know? This has been going on for centuries. They surrounded the Bidens. They got everything they wanted out of Biden when he was vice president. They couldn't have been pleased more. And they gave his son $1.5 billion for a completely useless private equity fund. Now they're moving toward the presidency, so they jam.
Hold on, hang on. You make a pretty big charge there. Are you saying Joe Biden was put in charge of the pivot to Asia by Barack Obama? He negotiated the deal that they came to the Rose Garden and signed that dealt with cybersecurity and cyber intrusions of stealing intellectual property from our companies and the militarization, to stop the militarization of the South China Sea. We know that both of those failed. But are you saying that you're accusing Biden of going soft on them on both the negotiation and the enforcement because of his financial and business relationships with the Chinese Communist Party?
Well, Mr. Bannon, let me quote you back to you. I don't believe in conspiracies, but I do believe in coincidences. It's a heck of a coincidence that he allows them to expand in the South China Sea. He allows them to increase their tariffs with no counteraction taken by the United States. And at that time, the Chinese are pumping $1 billion and then $500 million more into a private equity fund that involves not just Hunter, but John Kerry's stepson, the Bank of China as their partner, and Whitey Bulger's nephew. There could be only one reason for that China was getting value from Joe. The Chinese do not give away $1.5 billion. You know that. They're not dumb. They're not stupid like the reporters think the American people are. And the American people aren't stupid. They're just not being given the information.
Oh, okay, Rudy, but hang on for a second. Hang on, Mayor. You've got the FBI under Comey. You've got the CIA under Brennan. You've got Clapper. You got Hayden. You got DNI. You got all of it. The American people think, hey, even if I got bad apples, I got these institutions. Where are those institutions in reporting this or investigating this?
They've gone completely corrupt at the top. The FBI is not corrupt. CIA is not corrupt. You know, when they say bad apples, in this particular case, the bad apples are sitting right at the top of the tree. There are only a couple of them. If you could cut them off, the tree would be fine. I mean, the FBI has been misused.
Okay. If that's a problem, let's say I buy you three. If that's a problem, your client has been here 4 years. 4 years. Where do we stand at the top of the tree? Is it still corrupt with bad apples? Or still need pruning? And the question gets to be, why are we in the fourth year of this and it's happening?
Because I think it was very hard to see this. When I first started, Steve, when I first started doing this investigation for him, it's only 2.5 years ago, if I had heard myself saying what I'm saying now, I'd have said, that guy's crazy. It can't be that bad. It's worse. And he had to catch up to it. I mean, he appoints Ray. There's no reason why Ray wouldn't just go straight ahead on these investigations. Instead, Ray, for 4 years, hides the Brennan memo in which Brennan admits that Hillary Clinton developed the Russian collusion. I mean, nothing could be worse than that. We had a 4-year impeachment based on nothing. She was the one who did it. Why would he hide it? And then why would our people who come into office hide it unless they're more impressed with the deep state than they are with Donald Trump?
Rudy, we got to go. Can we get your Twitter handle and your shows at 3 o'clock on WABC? We're linking to you all the time. Can you give us your Twitter handle because everything's blowing up today and people want to get total access to you.
Rudy'sCommonSense.com. It's got all the latest information, and you can see some of these text messages for yourself. And then I'll be on radio between 3 and 4, and then 9 and 10 on WABC, which you can also get WABCradio.com. You can get it on your computer.
Mayor, thank you very much. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you, Steve. God bless you.
His podcast, by the way, the one from the other day we're going to put back up, is he tells us about how he's going to prosecute this. Okay, we're going to come back. Raheem, Jack, we got so much breaking news out of these guys. We got a break. Plus, Liz Ure is going to walk through what really needs to happen here to get this investigation and make sure that the young girl is protected. Milesguo's new song, Fight for Hong Kong.
They ran our lives, but no more. Do you have any idea how your mattress affects your body and how well you sleep? Is it too hard or too soft, causing you to wake up with sore shoulders, back, or hips? Are you uncomfortable because you're too hot or too cold? Now you can get the total body support you need and the better sleep you want with the new MyPillow mattress topper.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell. When I invented my new MyPillow mattress topper, I made it to have everything you'd ever want in a topper. My mattress topper helps give you the support you need, helps relieve your pressure points, and regulates your body temperature for you as an individual. It comes with a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry the cover. It's made in the USA, and I back it with my 60-day money-back guarantee.
Go to MyPillow.com or call now to get your very own MyPillow mattress topper. Use the promo code and Mike will give you 30% off and 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free. Order now.
MyPillow topper delivers on its promise to give me a better night's sleep.
I can sleep all night through, and it's a miracle for me.
Mike's exclusive 3-layer design starts with a layer of MyPillow foam, providing you superior support and comfort. The second layer of transitional foam evenly distributes body weight and helps relieve uncomfortable pressure points for optimal comfort. Mike's ultra-soft outer layer is a patented temperature-regulating cover that helps keep you at your ideal sleeping temperature all night long. Unlike other sleep systems costing thousands, the MyPillow mattress topper takes comfort to a whole new level without any wires, remotes, or moving parts. Call now or go to MyPillow.com to order your MyPillow topper. Use the promo code to save 30%. When you do, Mike will give you 2 of his standard MyPillows absolutely free. That's right, 2 standard MyPillows free and 30% off your MyPillow topper today. Order now.
I personally guarantee it's going to change your bed into the most comfortable bed you'll ever own.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
This is the kind of card that has America talking. With it, people with Medicare are getting all-in-one coverage for their doctor visits, hospital care, prescription drugs, and more. This kind of insurance, called Medicare Part C, may also cover dental care, eyeglasses, hearing aids, fitness programs, vitamins, even healthy meals and rides to the doctor. With this kind of coverage, you do not need a Medicare supplement insurance plan. You will access your benefits through your Medicare Part C plan for one low and oftentimes $0 monthly plan premium. You deserve to get the most from your Medicare benefits. Call now for free information that may help you get more coverage for less money. There is no obligation to enroll. Whether for yourself or someone you love, call the number on the screen now. Call now.
War Room Pandemic with Stephen K. Bannon.
The epidemic is a demon, and we cannot let this demon hide.
War Room Pandemic. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Welcome back to the War Room. It's Monday, the 26th of October, 2020. We've got Liz Yore, one of the toughest prosecutors and has really dedicated her life to stopping human trafficking of children. She's a crusader. I mean, Liz Yore, you know her from what she's all over the Vatican about selling out to the Chinese Communist Party. And she's the toughest advocate of that and prosecutor of that case. That's nothing to when you hit her tripwire about children. She's going to be on in a second. I want to go to Raheem Kassam reset here. By the way, breaking news all over. Joe Biden is getting even more in hiding.
Yeah, it's interesting. Joe Biden, I believe, was supposed to be at this Orlando drive-in car rally tomorrow. Now, they announced yesterday that he had called a full lid until Election Day, and it appears that that is now being carried out. Barack Obama, bless him, is having to pick up all of the slack. The former president will be in Florida tomorrow at the Joe Biden drive-in car rally. This is extraordinary, not least because it just shows Joe's in full hiding, but also the last time Obama did one of these things, I mean, you had about 100 cars out there. That's not a great turnout for a former president of the United States.
And that's in Philadelphia. The one in Miami was no better.
Listen, Barack Obama has just as much interest in Joe Biden winning as Joe Biden winning, because the level of corruption stretches from the top all the way down. We know this with the revelations concerning the Russian hoax that Obama was in on some of these meetings. I would bet dollars for donuts that Obama was aware of selling out.
But the first question I think the media's got to ask Obama today is, what were you guys talking about in the Oval? And for the Secret Service, how does a guy with it's already been bounced out of the Navy in 1 month? The first time he goes to the base, to the naval base in Norfolk, my hometown, he gets down there and they give him a drug. Do you know it's got to be the first time in the history of the United States Navy, my beloved Navy, that a guy that was an officer just got commissioned on the very first time they give him a drug test as soon as he walks on? You know what that, Joe Biden? That's the Navy telling you, hey, dude, you may have jammed that down his throat, but we're going to cough it back up on you, okay? We're going to cough it. We're going to cough up a nasty loogie, which is going to be your son, okay? That's outrageous. The investigation, remember, when the deplorables put their children, allow their children to volunteer and go into the all-volunteer force, the one thing they ask is to make sure that the non-commissioned officers and the officers look after their well-being. They understand they're going to go in harm's way. They understand they may sacrifice everything. Look over at Arlington, it's Section 60. Parents know that. My daughter was over in Iraq. Every day you realize you have no power over this, right? All you do is have the power of prayer. You have no power what's going to happen. It's totally outside of your control, the helicopter parents. The only thing the parents ask for is to make sure that non-commissioned officers and commissioned officers do their best to make sure that in harm's way that there are going to be rules and regulations to make sure their children can perform at the highest level in some form of safety, understanding they could be killed. The top thing in the all-volunteer force, particularly in today's society, is drugs. To have an officer that you force in there at 43 years old, Joe Biden, and to allow him to have opportunity around enlisted kids is a disgrace. And the lie, this shows you what the Bidens are. The lie he told, I bummed some cigarettes and must have been laced with cocaine, trying to blame somebody else. No. Bidens, you stink from the fish rots from the head down. And I got to tell you, Joe Biden showing his cowardice. Biden, you can run, but you can't hide from me. We're coming for you every second of every day. And remember, if for some remote possibility, you steal this from Donald Trump, every day of your life is going to be hell. Every day of your life is going to be hell because you have sold out this country. You sold out the military. You sold out these enlisted kids. You've gotten away. You've skipped all your life past this. Okay? Guess what? You're now in the turbulence. Okay? And it's not going to get any better. It's only going to get worse because this is expanding. You know, my brother here, Jag Maxey, he tells me, hey, dude, there's so many other prominent families involved in this. This is the permanent political class. This is the managed decline, Teresa Hines and Chris Hines. This is the managed decline of this country. This is why Donald J. Trump is president of the United States. Because the last time in 2016, he ran against the representatives of the elite in the managed decline, Hillary Clinton, a neoliberal neocon. And now we have it again, Bernie and Pocahontas. Where was the oppo, Elizabeth Warren, of all the money you raised? Where's the oppo on Biden? Why is Bernie Kerik and Rudy Giuliani and Steve Bannon, all these guys you detest? Why does it have to be us in the closing days of the race? Where were you in the 2 years? The Democratic Party, the populist Democratic Party, and the Bernie Sanders guys that watch this. Even if you hate Trump, you can't vote for that. You can't vote for Biden. Bernie Sanders, you're a disgrace. You've had 2 shots, you wimp. You've had 2 shots to do this, and you're too gutless, and you're not tough enough to take on the Bidens. You're not tough enough. You think you're going to come in and make change? Do you understand what this system is? Do you understand how powerful it is, how much money it has, how much power it has, how much technology it has? You think you're going to wander in here like Larry David with your hair all over, oh, you're going to do this? You're not going to do anything. You know why you're not going to do anything? You couldn't even take on the Clintons, and you couldn't take on the Bidens. That's what this is about. You want to talk populism and economic nationalism? Hey, if you want to act on it and not talk about it, you got to start to break down the system. And the way you break down the system, you go into those areas that you can bang the weakest elements of the chain. The weakest element is the guy that's hiding in Delaware today. He's weak. He coughed it up on the Neil Kinnock thing after a couple of things of plagiarism. Hey, Biden, Joe, when you putting the bib on him today and feeding him the Gerbers, the mashed peas? Is that lunch? Is lunch mashed peas? So it's going to be peaches. right before the sundowner. Yes, I can get. My mom said you can get pretty nasty, young man. It's not. No, he's hiding. He's hiding. He's hiding. And for the in modern political history, this has never happened. We've never had a heated race like this with everything on the line that the 250 flag officers 6 weeks ago say, you know, the guys that fought in every war since Korea says that it's the most important election in the history of the Republic. That's not Bannon and Maxine Raheem Kassam. That's generals and admirals that support Trump to tell you what the stakes are. And he is now essentially, and go back, Mr. Mainstream Media, if Trump had done his, from the very moment the New York Post put out the story on the hard drive from hell, he's been in hiding. He's done three drive-in events. He did the debate. He hasn't had any media avails. One media avail he has, the guy jumps in his face and he comes back, it's all lies. Well, sir, it's not all lies. This is his emails. This is his text messages. These are his photographs. This is how he lives, right? This is what you've allowed. You have allowed it. You have allowed it, okay? You're the head of the family. You're the parent. You've allowed this. And if you think you're getting your nose rubbed in and out, you have not seen anything yet. We will never, ever allow this country to be sold out by the likes of you. You're trash, and we are not going to allow trash to sell us out to our enemies, and that's what you've done. And now it's going to get into the whole institutional thing, because I'm not buying the bad apples anymore. The systemic rot, and they're heroes in the FBI, but the systemic rot of the FBI, the systemic rot of the CIA, the systemic rot of the national security apparatus, the systemic rot of the administrative state. Yes, I said early, deconstruct it. They said, oh, Bannon, he's a Leninist, wants to burn it down. No, I do not want to burn it down. Hey, I come out of two kind of organizations, institutions, Catholic Church, the Navy, right? I know what institutions are, institutions that can have good days, bad days, but we have a problem here. And to me, the President of the United States ought to today, don't wait till November, do it today as a message. There's not one person in this country that would vote for you, that would not vote for you if you didn't fire him today. That's the message. Don't take the bad advice of Chris Christie. He's the guy who gave you Ray. Don't take the normal politicians' route. They always have nothing but bad advice for you. Every time you listen to them, you go the wrong direction. Listen to your populace and your nationalist base. It's time now to strike. Call Ray in, ask him the 10 questions, give him a chance to defend himself, and then when he can't answer the 10th question correctly, fire him in front of the Resolute desk. Okay? This is what's got to happen.
I want to make mention a couple of things that
we're eventually going to get to the voice
there.
of reason, Liz Europe. I want to turn to Raheem.
Just very quickly,
okay,
I'll be very fast with this. You see the panic setting in. I mean, let's take a look at this LA Times article that's up on Yahoo News. It's headlined, Biden's lead, why Democrats worry they could blow it. A few choice quotes from this. Everybody is anxious, said Paul Begala, a longtime advisor to Bill and Hillary Clinton and a founder of Democratic fundraising behemoth Priorities USA. It's not just post-traumatic stress disorder, he says. We have permanent traumatic stress disorder. We will never get over what happened in 2016. End quote. Another one. Florida keeps me up at night, says Chuck Rocha, founder of Nuestro PAC, a pro-Biden group focused on turning out Latino voters. Here's another quote. At this point, everything worries me. That's from Karen Finney, a former senior Clinton advisor. The Clinton folks are seeing what happened to Hillary Clinton and her credibility and her corruption that swirled around her in the final days. They're seeing it happen again. And you're seeing it. The surrogates are gone. Biden's surrogates are gone from TV. They're not even trying this Russian disinfo thing. You know why? Number one, if he wins somehow, Kamala sees it as her way to the Oval Office. She don't want those people out there defending him right now. It's extraordinary what's going on.
And number two, they don't want to defend somebody who's covering up incest and child abuse. Let's be real.
They don't listen. They're looking for guidance from the Biden campaign. They're not getting it. He's down now, back in the cave. Okay, the tide is shifting. The tide is going out on the Bidens. Okay, and there's nobody there to save them. We're going to return in a moment with Liz Yore, who's going to drop the hammer in a moment.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I guarantee you they'll be the most comfortable sheets you'll ever own.
With the Giza Dream Sheets, I'm getting the best sleep of my life. They are so soft and smooth. I never slept so good.
I fall asleep faster because I'm actually comfortable.
I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable, which is why I can give you my full 10-year warranty. But I didn't stop there. My Giza sheets also include full 21-inch wide pillowcases that will fit over any pillow and deep pocket sheets that will fit over any mattress. I guarantee you the first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now. MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets are available in a variety of colors and will be the softest, most comfortable sheets you will ever own. Use the promo code and get 2 for 1 low price, plus free shipping. Giza Dreams are made with the finest, most sought-after cotton in the world. Giza cotton was once reserved for only the finest dress shirts, but is now available in Mike's Giza Dream Sheets. They feature a beautiful silky sateen weave that helps keep you cool and comfortable all night long.
With the Giza Dream Sheets, I'm getting the best rest of my life.
I love my Giza Dream Sheets. Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Use the promo code and Mike will give you a very special 2 for 1 low price and free shipping. That's right, get 2 for 1 low price and free shipping. Call or go online now.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
I sent your new prescription to the pharmacy. Any idea how much it will cost? You have a choice. Insurance or GoodRx? I have insurance. Insurance is not what it used to be. People struggle to get their prescriptions covered, and prices keep rising. I recommend GoodRx. You get free coupons to save on your prescriptions. Compare prices to find the best discounts.
GoodRx. Smart.
Stop paying too much for your prescriptions. Download the free app today.
War Room. Pandemic. Stephen K. Bannon.
The epidemic is a demon, and we cannot let this demon hide.
War Room. Pandemic. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Okay, I want to bring in back, come back with Liz Yore. Liz, just real quickly for people who are joining the show, because the show's blowing up here. Can you I want to go back over quickly your bona fides. What's your expertise in this area of protecting young people from child endangerment?
Well, I'm general counsel at DCFS in Illinois, the major child welfare agency, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, the national hotline, and I was general counsel there and head of the cyber tip line, which is about internet child porn and child exploitation on the internet, the subject of what we're seeing right now in this case.
You're a former prosecutor. How many years of your life have you dedicated to this topic?
30 years to child protection in all sorts of child abuse, incest, child exploitation on the internet, human trafficking, clergy abuse scandals I was very involved in. So kind of everything that's the wide range of expertise in this area.
And when Oprah Winfrey had the problem with the school, you were an advisor to her too, correct?
That's correct. That's correct. And worked on child protection issues and legislation.
As you saw the Bernie Kerik and Rudy Giuliani and the text that Rudy put up, Mayor Giuliani put up last week, and now have seen what Gateway Pundit is breaking with these text messages, put forward to our audience in your nonpartisan professional way, where do you think we stand with this part of the story, and what do you think is happening right now?
Okay, these texts are an admission against interest. This is damning evidence, both the text last week that we saw where Hunter said, I caused a very unsafe environment for the kids. That's kids plural, Steve, kids plural. The texts today that we're seeing are putting Joe Biden in the center of this scandal. In my opinion, my professional opinion, Joe Biden is the center of the scandal. He apparently did not protect these children because let's step back. If we look at July 2018, when all these texts are coming about Hunter Biden being dangerous, being unsafe, what does Jim Biden say? Jim blames the victim. My dad, your dad blames the victim. These are all lies. We're going to shove it down her blanking throat. There's a character assassination going on about the apparently mother of this child. What is troubling to me is that it's always killed the messenger. And, the American people understand the dynamics going on in this sexually dysfunctional family. 7 months before Joe announces for president, he's having his whole family blow up. All hell is breaking loose. And what does he do? He protects the predator based on these text messages. Now, that tells us a lot about the character of this man, and that's why I put Joe Biden at the center of this sex scandal as opposed to his son. And why this is so heinous and why this is such a danger for this little girl who, frankly, has just experienced a trauma with the death of her father, and she now is going through this experience. Children who go through sex abuse have 4 times more likely chance of going into drug abuse, 4 times more likely be involved with PTSD, 3 times more likely have a major depressive episode. That is why child abuse is so dangerous for the society as a whole. And frankly, if the media isn't interested in this issue, I know that the American people are. And we also know that 93% of the victims know their perpetrator. 34% of sex abuse happens with family members. So this is your classic case. But these text messages, Steve, a roadmap for the investigators. This case could have easily been resolved and prosecuted. This case should have gone to the head of the unit. The FBI will say, we have so many cases and, there's just a backlog. We need more money. This is what they always say. This is what they said when I was involved with working on the FBI in cases. This case, because of the national security implications, because the financial implications.
What do you mean? What do you mean national security implications?
The fact that the getaway vehicle in this crime family was Air Force Two. The perpetrator of child sexual abuse was on Air Force Two repeatedly, many times. Those are the national security, the overlay of this typical incest case. It became far more serious, far more grievous. And that's why, another thing that I've learned in clergy abuse cases, Steve, is that where there's sex abuse, there's financial fraud. They go hand in hand. And so, before Joe Biden announced for president, he should have, and he had this major scandal and here's a little girl who there's a total imbalance of power, and the imbalance of power I have never seen with a prominent, the vice president, or potentially the president of the United States, and this little girl who's making allegations, and her family is making allegations against the son of the vice president. Talk about an imbalance of power.
If Rudy and these guys dropped it off at Delaware, in the Delaware paper, the online version of the Delaware paper, the next day, or even late that night on Monday a week ago, this time they were down there last week. They were down there with Delaware local authorities, which they were told to go make this report to, give this information over from the hard drive. The AG said that night, yeah, we took some stuff they gave us and we sent it immediately to the FBI. Are there other alternatives? Right now, it's just gone down the memory hole. Nobody knows what's going on, if there's been an intervention, if there's been... does the audience have anything that they could do in making inquiries, or are there other parts of the U.S. government that are essentially empowered here to get involved?
Well, it sure appears that the FBI is slow walking this case. And my recommendation is to put a little federal bureaucracy rivalry in place by referring the entire hard drive to the Cyber Crime Center at ICE, which has a child exploitation investigation unit. These guys do the same kind of investigations that the FBI Innocent Images unit does. We get some competition going. Who's going to charge? Who's going to make a case? It's what we have to do. My experience with ICE, and I've worked with both ICE and FBI on these kinds of cases, they're the little engine that could. With far less money than the FBI has in their budget, the Cyber Crime Center is making cases left and right. I give this case to them and see what they can do to make a case quickly, because it appears, I mean, the FBI's had it for 9 months. They're slow walking it. As you said, Steve, it's going down a memory hole. And children are at risk. We have no confirmation and no ability, and there may be other children. I haven't seen the full hard drive. Maybe no one has seen the whole. There may be additional children, even internationally involved, who may be at risk. This needs to be investigated forthwith. And the text messages only corroborate the photos. This is a slam dunk case of child abuse on a family level, incest. And the imbalance of power in this case cries out for government intervention. And this is why the government must be involved in child cases, because they are the voice of the children against these powerful predators. And the American public understands this intimately. And the American public understands this case. And that's why I view it kind of differently than everybody else. I view this as at the feet of Joe Biden, who did not take action. And, you know, that last chilling text last week that we saw was so troubling to me, because there was no apology or no remorse from Hunter when he's talking to his father in this text. And it almost sounded like to me that this was not new behavior, that this may have been accepted behavior. And so as a result, I'm very concerned about this case, that it's going to be dropped like so many cases in the past, like the Epstein case. Why does it take 20 or 30 years to bring these predators to justice? The McCarrick case, the Weinstein case, the Cosby case, the Sandusky case, the Epstein case. And yet this is why the government needs to be the advocate for children, because children have nothing else. And the text today, you saw what the victim, the predators say. Oh, she's lying. This is a character assassination. Blame the victim. She's great, you know, whatever. That is classic language used to destroy the victim. Is it any wonder that less than 10% of victims step forward and disclose? So my recommendation is send the hard drive to the Cyber Crime Center at ICE. Let them have a look at it. I think it's an easy case to make, and see if we can get some sibling rivalry going between the federal agencies here.
Liz, what's your Twitter handle? How do people get more access to you? Because on my phone, everything's blown up right now. People want to get more access to you. Elizabeth Yore is my Twitter. Yore, Y-O-R-E, children.com is my website. Liz, thank you very much. Okay, we're going to actually get to, in the next segment, we're going to get to the financial crimes. I want to now play, I'm going to go out. We got the take down the CCP from Hong Kong on this is Fight for Hong Kong by Milesguo, the latest. I want to play this. We're going to return in the next segment. We get to Jag Maxey and Raheem Kassam on everything related to the financial crimes. Reset the story, make sure everybody knows what's going on till the National Pulse this afternoon and us again tomorrow morning. We're going to be back in a moment. I want to take out now. Let's bring in this video. It's amazing. Milesguo's latest. Fight for Hong Kong.
Everything's just beginning, but the games you want to play. Bring it on and I will fight To the end, just watch and see. It's all started, everything's begun, and you are over. Cause we're taking down the CCP. Spread the word all through Hong Kong. We will fight till they're all gone. We rejoice when there's no more. Let's take down the CCP. They have all lied for too long. We will end what they do wrong. Spread the word all through Hong Kong. Let's take down the CCP. Let the bullets fly a little longer, and you will surrender. Let the bullets fly a little longer. We will have freedom to live. We will win. You'll surrender. Let the bullets fly a little longer. 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 Let the bullets fly a little longer.
干灭中国共产党这个 CCP， 还能让我们远离恐惧。Take down the CCP.
They try to scare the nation with fabrication, but we see through the lies. We won't fall, we will fight you back. Police corruption with crooked assumption. They ran our lives, but no more. We will win. We will take down the CCP. Spread the word all through Hong Kong. We will fight till they're all gone. We rejoice when there's no more. Let's take down the CCP. They have all lied for too long. We will end what they do wrong. Spread the word all through Hong Kong. Let's take down the CCP. Let the bullets fly a little longer, and you will surrender. Let the bullets fly a little longer. We will have freedom to live. We will win. You'll surrender. Let the bullets fly a little longer. Let the bullets fly a little longer.
站起来吧！
Stay tuned to get a free pan from Granite Stone. Stuck on eggs, burnt on batter. You can scrub and scrape, but you can't escape the nightmare of your sticky pans. Introducing the Granite Stone Pan, the all-new durable non-stick pan. No butter or oil needed. Watch, we melted down these sticky candies in granite stone, and it just doesn't stick. We cooked a half a dozen eggs, bacon, cheese, and tomato breakfast with no butter or oil, and it just doesn't stick. Look, caramels, chocolate, and cheese. Unreal for any other pan, but not for Granite Stone. It just doesn't stick. Granite Stone will be the last pan you'll ever need because it's pressed from a solid aluminum disc for even heat conduction, then coated 3 times with our durable Granite Stone finish. Granite Stone is metal utensil safe and won't scratch. And talk about non-stick. This salmon cooked skin side down with no added butter or oil just doesn't stick. This steak is perfectly seared just like the pros. And because Granite Stone is oven rated to 500 degrees, we bake this upside-down pan pizza to perfection, and it just doesn't stick. Fire Flambe Delicious Cherries Jubilee. Plus, it's PFOA-free and 100% dishwasher safe. Call or go online to get your Granite Stone pan for the special TV discount price of just $19.99. Granite Stone is so durable it comes with a 10-year warranty. And with every order, you're going to get a Granite Stone single-serve egg pan absolutely free. It's the perfect size for personalized eggs, omelets, or frittatas that slide right out. It makes the best bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich quick. Yours absolutely free. We'll even ship your entire order free. That's right, free shipping. You get it all, an incredible value. Here's how to order.
To order, call 1-800-850-0237. That's 1-800-850-0237, or order online at buygranitestone.com. That's 1-800-850-0237. Call now.
Feel like you live a lot of your life online? The average person is connected almost 7 hours a day. And all that shopping, banking, browsing, and sharing can mean exposing your personal information. In fact, 64% of adults admit to risking online privacy for convenience. Is it any wonder that 26% of people had malware on one of their devices? Or that there's a victim of identity theft every 3 seconds? Your digital life may be in lots of places, but there's one place to help keep it safe. Norton 360 with LifeLock. With security to help block hackers from your devices, a VPN to help keep your online activity private, and LifeLock identity theft protection. Now, you can get up to 25% off your first year of Norton 360 with LifeLock with promo code TV offer. Call to start your membership or visit lifelock.com/TV offer.
War Room Pandemic with Stephen K. Bannon.
The epidemic is a demon, and we cannot let this demon hide.
War Room Pandemic. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
All right, welcome back to the War Room. Somebody in the live chat just a moment ago saying historic show. I couldn't agree more. Historic, not least because of the audience participation here, how much you guys are weighing in on the live chat. I know we've had another 2,000 subscribers alone today on the YouTube channel by itself. And I want to just give you guys all a heads up. If you share the podcast, we're on the podcast, we're on the YouTube, we're on Facebook, everywhere. Clout Hub, everywhere. So if you share the Steve Bannon's War Room on YouTube, make sure your friends and your family and your colleagues and your co-workers are all subscribing to that. But also make sure you are subscribed via Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever it is, to the War Room on there. The more subscriptions we get, the higher ranking we get. The higher ranking we get, the more eyeballs we get.
Remember,
the more eyeballs we get.
It's all free, no money.
It's all free.
Also free.
So I want to bring us back to some of the details. We've got so much more on this hard drive from hell. Jack Maxey, what are you looking into right now?
Well, one of the things that I think people really would be interested in, we posted this on our Twitter feed. Now, people have been telling us that Twitter is making it very difficult to see, very difficult to retweet. If you remember the loan document that we released a few days ago, which described this loan that had been rolled over since 2013, it appears that all of the investments by Hunter, by Devin, by Jimmy Bolger in any of these Bohai deals were actually fake, i.e. we lend you $10 million for you to invest in the deal. And then they probably went out to their clients and said they had skin in the game, so that's fraud. This is why we think the SEC should be looking into this. This is why we think FINRA should be looking into this. This is why we think that anybody with exposure to Rosemont Seneca, anybody with exposure to Bolger's broker-dealer, people, you need to call the regulators. I think there is incredible risk here. There are some very large banks involved. We see Millennium. We see several large hedge funds. The clients of these funds need to call the SEC, and we will bring the hard drive over immediately.
It's all the deplorables money. It's your money.
And by the way, it's not just domestic, right? It's
international.
This is all over the world. They've been doing this.
This grift is everywhere, and I'm going to tell you what is so surprising about this loan document. They amended it to change the owner of the loan from a guy named Johnny Lee to a woman named Jin Wang. Now, Jin Wang is a lawyer in California. She's a member of the California Bar. She also has a Canadian passport. She is the one who wrote up this amendment to the document so that she would now be the one who owned the debt, not some other guy. And let me explain to who she is, because it kind of shows you how these elites work, person to person, one VP's son to another. She is the illegitimate daughter of Wang Qishan, who is the deputy premier of the Communist Party.
Wang Qishan's the devil of devils.
And this is his illegitimate daughter.
He's the Wall Street. He's the Wall Street.
And we have signatures with Hunter Biden's name on it, Eric Schwerin's signature. We have her signature. This is a loan that has been rolling since 2013. This is not just something about the United States being compromised by our existential enemies in Beijing, the Communist Party of China. This is our financial system being undermined by these shady deals. This means that Wall Street has to pay attention, because there are large Wall Street houses that have tremendous exposure to this scam. I want people to think about a few questions that are out there that need to be asked, and we need your help because we know people talk. Over the weekend, I was contacted by 3 separate people with information about Eudora. Eudora is seemingly a global criminal enterprise. I say that in quotation marks, seemingly. I want people to look into it. They have tried to do grifts on everything from famine victims in Zimbabwe to an online gaming plan down in Latin America called Ocho Rio Gaming. All of you who watch Ozarks remember how they were flipping gas stations and able to wash $100,000 a week, and then all of a sudden they had the idea of buying the casino, and it was millions. Well, this was an attempt to get an on-game licensing agreement, a monopoly in 5 different Latin American countries, including Peru, Colombia, Ecuador, Argentina, and Uruguay. There is no way that these negotiations occurred. There's no way that Jeff Cooper, who used to be Obama's man in Southern Illinois, works with Durbin. There is no way that this guy was down there negotiating these deals with the treasuries and the tax authorities of these countries without the cooperation of John Kerry and our own officials in Washington. Impossible.
3 p.m. today on Real America's Voice, we'll have Steve Cortez from the Trump campaign reacting to all of this breaking news about Hunter Biden and the laptop from hell. The lead story in the National Pulse proves that Hunter Biden used his position to get artwork and villa stays in exchange for taking people into the White House.
That's a FAR violation, right?
Much more than that.
Paul Manafort's in prison for that?
Don't forget also, remember, there's a direct message to Hunter and Devin from Jin, where she's requesting help for them to organize a visit from Chairman Xi to a company in Southern California that they are hoping to buy through Bohai Harvest. Now, you have to remember, Bohai Harvest's entire purchasing program was U.S. companies that could provide technological assistance to the Chinese military. We put up something where they celebrated purchasing an American automotive company. We know the dampening technology from that sale is inside Chinese fighter aircraft today.
We end with Milesguo's new song, Fight for Hong Kong, and it leads with what we're all trying to do, take down the Chinese Communist Party, CCP. Until National Pulse at 3 with Steve Cortez. See you back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. I think we got a surprised co-host. We'll tweet it out later.
We rejoice when there's no more. Let's take down the CCP. They have all lied for too long. We will end what they do wrong. Spread the word of the wrong. Come, let's take down the CCP. Let the bullets fly a little longer, and you will surrender. Let the bullets fly a little longer. We will have freedom to live. We will win. You'll surrender. Let the bullets fly a little longer. 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 Let the bullets fly a little longer.
干灭中国共产党这个 CCP， 还能让我们远离恐惧。Take down CCP.
They try to scare the nation with fabrication, but we see through the lies. We won't fall, we will fight you back. Police corruption, crooked assumption. They ran our lives, but no more. We will win. We will take down the CCP.